Welcome to Unit 2 in Theology of Missions. Our assignments this week include our regular weekly traded discussions and respective responses. Your first reflection paper is also due on Monday. It is a lengthy one, so start working on it early. In this first reflection paper, I'll be looking for your own thoughts and interactions with the material rather than reiteration of what you've read. Feel free to be critical and write about what you disagree with. One interesting point from the reading on Jonah is to learn why was he so reluctant to preach in Nineveh. The people of Nineveh were natural enemies of Israel, and Jonah believed that if he did not preach to them, God would destroy Nineveh and Israel will have one less enemy. God was of course not pleased with Jonah's decision. Verse 3 in chapter 1 tells us that Jonah had to pay a price to get on the ship and run away from the assignment God gave him, meaning we always pay a price when we run away from God. With this in mind, I pray that you have a successful week in completing all your assignments. As always, feel free to email me if you have any questions. Thank you and God bless. Welcome to Unit 3 in Theology of Missions. Our assignments this week include 3 traded discussions as following. Number 1, putting traditional understanding of missions to the test. Number 2, construct your own definition of missions. And number 3, critique of Don Richardson's presentation. Make sure that in each discussion you demonstrate engagement with the assignment. Make sure that at each discussion you demonstrate engagement with the assigned theme for the lesson and present your own observation and arguments in the reasonable length. Make sure that in each discussion you demonstrate engagement with the assigned theme for the lesson. Make sure that in each discussion you demonstrate engagement with the assigned theme for the lesson and present your own observations and arguments in reasonable length. For example, in interacting with the second discussion, I define the missional ministry of the church as number 1, more mission-minded than NGS is structured. Number 2, more missionary-focused than leadership centralized. Number 3, more operational than organizational. Number 4, more result-oriented than self and strategy containable. And number 5, more praying than thinking, while more feeling than cognitive. With this in mind, I pray that you have a successful week in completing your assignments. As always, feel free to email me if you have any questions. Thank you, and God bless. Welcome to Unit 4 in Theology of Missions. Our assignments this week are quite interesting as we're in midterms. They include 3 traded discussions and preparation for your second reflection paper, which is due in the next Unit 5. In the discussions and responses, do use your impressions from the reading and engage with the course material. For example, in the discussion on Pentecost, Jesus commands his disciples to be witnesses. The present continuing tense of the verb denotes living a life of constant witnesses, not merely witnessing once or twice. Second, the Spirit gave the disciples ability to speak the message of salvation in tongues that could be understood by all present in the meeting. And finally, the Spirit gave power to the church to walk in miracles as confirmation of the Word, which brought about a salvific revival that took place in those early days. With this in mind, I pray that you have a successful week in completing your assignments. As always, feel free to email me if you have any questions. Thank you, and God bless. Welcome to Unit 5 in Theology of Missions. There are 2 traded discussions and a response paper on our list of assignments this week. When submitting the reflection paper, make sure it meets the minimum page requirement and Caribbean writing style. The minimum 750 words should amount to about 5 to 6 pages of double-spaced text. Given the short length of the paper, please stay away from long quotes from the reading. Properly cite your sources when quoting points by the author. If you have any questions on the assignments, please do not hesitate to email me. Thank you, and God bless. Welcome to Unit 6 in Theology of Missions. The assignment list this week contains only 2 threaded discussions. If you cannot access media link titled Will This World Record Break You, please read it from the archive shown here. I will also email you the direct link in our weekly email with assignments. Please keep in mind that the following Unit 7 comes with a reflection paper and a final exam. If you'd like to begin preparing for your finals, you can access the instructions posted under the class resources here. As usual, please feel free to email me with any questions on the assignments. Thank you and God bless. Welcome to Unit 7 in Theology of Missions. We are at the final stretch of our class with several key assignments due by the end of this session. Unit 7 includes one final discussion, your final reflection paper, and a final exam. For the exam, first, download the file in its entirety. Take time to answer all questions. Finally, upload the completed exam in the Dropbox provided. To begin preparing for your final exam, please start with the instructions I emailed you from here. As usual, if you have any questions on the assignments, please do not hesitate to email me. Thank you. As usual, if you have any questions on the assignments, please do not hesitate to email me. It's been a pleasure to have this class with you. Thank you and God bless.